Welcome back to the coverage of YCS Düsseldorf 2019. We made it all the way to the top 16. After 9 grueling rounds of Swiss, only 400 players remained out of a field of 2,838 players in both events combined. We had around 2,300 in this event. And after 3 more rounds of Swiss, we made it to the top 64, and now we're all the way in the top 16. Our 2 players in the red corner, Claus Schledorn. Congratulations, you made it this far. How are you feeling?
Really great. This is my first YCS top.
I thought you were going to say it's your first YCS, but no, the first top cut.
No, I lost like 6 YCS on the bubble, so it feels really great to top.
Yeah, and not just that you made it into the top 64, you kept going and now you're in the top 16.
Yeah, that's amazing. I didn't even think about becoming that far.
Well, I can tell you're really excited. I like that. Run us through it. How was your day 1? Did you go undefeated on day 1, or what was it like?
I lost round 1 to Marco Perico, the guy in the feature match round 2nd. Mm-hmm. And then I won all the rounds after that. Okay. And then day 2, I draw the first round, lost the second, and the last round I won.
So quite an up and down for you.
Yeah.
It seems like you're getting better as the days going along. So we can expect big things from you, I guess. How did you prepare for this event?
Honestly.
Okay, that's enough of a... Please have a seat. Don't want to encourage this. All right, his opponent in the blue corner, Tari. Hey, how are you doing?
Fine, and you?
Oh, you got your personal fan club with you. You have, of course, been here before. This is not your first feature match. How are you feeling about the feature match right now?
I think it's pretty cool because of the headsets, and the seat is pretty nice. So I think I enjoy it.
Okay, yeah, actually we had players who had feature matches in the past, like Rafael. He said the old setup was worse because you hear everything that's happening, but now with the earphones you cannot really make out what the crowd is saying. So all of your friends are not going to come into play. That's kind of bad for you, I guess, in that case. How did you prepare for the event?
I don't have that much time to prepare because I went to school and had another things to do. So I just played the deck, what I test a bit, and then it's got fine.
Okay, so it seems like you're also happy with your deck choice in the end. So please have a seat as well. We have to perform the die roll. So let's see who's going to be allowed to go first. We got Klaus with a 7, very average, and Chan with an 8. So Chan is allowed to pick who's going to go first.
I go first.
Okay, Chan decides to go first. The stage has been set, our players are ready. Crowd, people watching, are you ready for the top 16 feature match? Okay, seems like people are heating up here. So let's get it started. We got Daniel Neville and Marcello Barbarian commentary. Take it away, guys.
Welcome to the top 16 of YCS Düsseldorf. We are definitely excited for this match. It is going to be once again a different matchup, and as we saw, it's quite a wide tournament. We have different decks, and we are getting close to the end of the tournament. We got news that on YCS Düsseldorf 2, they're also getting quite close to the finals, which we are definitely gonna try and show you guys.
Hopefully after this round.
Yeah.
It's very exciting.
Exactly.
2 finals one day.
Wow,
Like,
who could have expected?
What more could you want?
But yeah, overall they are both not the most experienced players. I know I personally play against Khan in the past, and he's back now, and he's more used to the future match. Yeah, they're both, of
German
course,
players.
from German. Yeah. And not a surprise, we saw that we had 1,400 players from Germany, and in the top cut there were like 34 Germans, so definitely taking the event by a blast.
Yep.
But now we have seen that they have their headphones on, we can talk about their decks. It is gonna be Salamangreat against Subterror.
Yes.
So,
and these are like decks that I really like in this format. Subterror in particular.
Yeah.
You know, again, we've had this on already. I don't think we've had this exact matchup, but the Subterror deck has such a weird approach to the game. It like everything else is like, I'm going to build this big board, I'm going to use my Link monsters, and
Yeah.
Subterror is just like, no, we're gonna
We're gonna go to the gear gameplay.
Yeah.
Essentially, just set a monster and then try to control the field like that. And this is one of the matchups where Subterror should be favored. That's
Yes.
one of the reasons why a few players picked up the deck. It seems like it's really good, especially with there can only be one,
Yeah.
and he's maining 3 copies.
Against a control deck, Subterror is really good at just playing that value game. The last time we've seen Subterror at this event was round 3. So, you know, I'm really excited to see the deck again. It has a lot of cool stuff that it's able to do. It's one of the few decks in the event that I think we've actually seen be successful with Floodgate trap cards, which are continuous traps that prevent players from taking certain actions.
Sure, and something that I like about his deck compared to others is that since you play Pot of Extravagance, the extra deck is not important, and he's maining Super Poly, which is something that I also suggested Subterror players prior to the event.
Yeah.
Since it's such a powerful card, especially in this matchup, I want to see that in action.
Yeah, in fact, we mentioned with the previous Subterror he was playing 3 copies of Gagaga Cowboy.
Yeah.
We don't see any Cowboy here, but we see him playing multiple copies of cards that he can summon off Super Polymerization instead. So I think that's a much more interesting approach. The Salamangreat, I mean, Salamangreat is Salamangreat. This is a version playing strikes. We're not seeing any artifact cards in the main deck. I don't see them here in the side deck either.
No, he's taking a different approach from what we've seen from Raphael, and it's working for him. It seems like it's more of a standard deck list with Pot of Desires and so on. But, well, I think that's enough talk, so let's just add to the match.
So something that I think is really interesting, from my experience, Solemn Strike is quite good against the Subterror deck.
Yeah.
So having extra counter traps is quite appealing in my mind. That said, Subterrors are going first. Khan is able to search out the Hidden City, which is a really nice pickup. The Hidden City really allows him to start getting his engine online. He's going to Hidden City, search Guru, set the Guru. Oh, there goes an Ash Blossom and Called by the Grave.
Wow, okay. So as soon as you were saying, it is definitely correct to Ash Blossom there, because the Fuel Spell is the key card of the deck, and you Ash on Terraforming because they would still be able to use the second effect, which is the Flip-Flop one.
Yes, exactly. A flip-flop being the technical term for
of course.
changing your monster from attack to defense, or vice versa.
No, I mean from face down
From
to face
face down,
up.
face
Sorry,
up.
let's be technical here. So,
I mean, flip-flop being coined from flip-flop frog, of course.
It is,
meta-defining card. We saw Extravagance revealed there. Unfortunately, if people aren't familiar with the card, Extravagance can only be activated as your first play in main phase 1. So he won't be able to use that here. He does have 2 Solemn Strikes, however, an Effect Veiler, and he's going to get a Final Battle. So this is a really nice setup for the Subterror deck. Double Strike, I'm not sure how capable Salamangreat is of playing through this. It means you're going to be able to negate the Lady Debug and deny the monster on field.
It is definitely tough. Do you think it is correct to add the Final Battle instead of Fiendus in general?
In this scenario, it might be, because he will be able to flip down his monster anyway, and he is likely to want to use his strong traps instead.
Okay.
Because the monster is face up, he'll be able to flip it down with the Hidden City, right?
Yeah.
To prevent an attack.
Well, I don't know. I just feel like you might want to get the extra negation. I guess you want to protect the Guru as well, but it doesn't seem like...
I could see an argument for getting Fiendus. But the problem is, if you get Fiendus and you don't end up using it, then it's pretty irrelevant.
I mean, you can just use it on any card, basically, so I...
That's true, that's true. Upstart Goblin, no. Slow down.
Yeah, slow down. No, wait. I don't want them life points. But yeah, Solemn Strike is used on the Gazelle.
Yeah.
Definitely a good thing. And now we can see the debug being kind of stuck in Klaus' hand.
Yeah.
He's going to go back to Tari, which now can use the Final Battle. As we said, you can just keep using it every turn. It sets itself back to the field, and it has 4 different effects, which you can use depending on what you want to do.
It's such a crazy good card. So he is most likely activating the effect so that the effects of Subterror cards cannot be negated. So this is interesting. The effects can't be negated, but the activations can be. So that is something to watch out for with Final Battle. If there were a counter trap card here, you would still be able to negate the activation. But I think it's a good call. It means that Effect Veiler isn't going to cause you problems, and it also prevents Ash Blossom. We see Nemesis Archer. That's a one-of that you're playing in the deck.
Yeah.
Archer is really great. It's kind of reminiscent of Mystic Tomato to an extent.
With Eren Lightsworm kind of mixed up into it because it shuffles back face down defense position monsters.
There was actually a really cool deck a couple of months back where you would play Nemesis Archer and you'd play Zodiac Barrage. And so you'd be able to pop your Archer with your Barrage, summon a Zodiac monster, and then also summon off Archer, which is always cute. It's kind of similar to the
Gimme
Zoo Draco.
Definitely a possibility. We are still waiting on the ad from Fiendus, but now he finally has it, so he's really good to go. He has a negation, he has a strike, he has even Veiler, so he's looking good. And something important to mention is that Guru has a second effect, which is the Book of Moon.
As the second strike here.
Yeah.
Yes, the Guru has the quick effect.
That's it for Klaus, though. So he picks up his cards real quick. So Tari takes game 1. He has a really good opening. He has the Call by the Grave to negate the Ash Blossom. That would have been
really
devastating
big.
otherwise, And we're going to go quickly to game 2 this time. If you take a look at the side decks, we're going to expect still a grind matchups.
For sure.
Klaus is going first. He wants to take up Roar and Rage. Rage is arguably even more important in this matchup because you want to be able to destroy 2 back rows. And in this side deck, he does have Twin Twisters. Nothing... Let's see. Dino Wrestlers are good, but not going first. They're probably, though, one of the best cards going second against the Subterror deck.
Sure.
While Khan is probably not signing too much.
I'd bring in Twin Twisters as Klaus, I think. That definitely seems like the play to make because it acts as an Ash against Hidden City and it's not prone to Called by the Grave. On the other side,
we have a few options like I think you have a good matchup against the deck. So it doesn't seem like it would be too wise to side deck too many cards, because Salamangreat does struggle with dealing with the floodgates already, and he does main Super Poly, which is probably one of the best cards going second. As mentioned, everyone this weekend is playing Dino Wrestlers. I haven't seen basically a deck list without them. They are basically one of the most versatile cards at the moment.
Again, it's kind of Mystical Space Typhoon, but it has loads of attack.
Yeah, exactly.
It just
also has the option to destroy
coverage.
not only spell and traps but monsters, which is quite a big deal.
Yeah.
So it comes down to the wire, honestly. For Klaus, I want to quickly take a look at his XYZ options, because we've seen a few players actually touching the Tornado Dragon, which would be huge in this matchup.
Yes, exactly.
I do not think it is the case, though, because it's written in German, so forgive me if I say it's not. The first one might be, but overall it's not the most common choice. They usually rely on Dweller or Baguska.
Yeah, Baguska has been very popular this weekend from what I've seen. And I think it's quite a strong card in the format. After all, what Baguska is able to allow us to do is we are able to prevent our opponents from being able to even attempt to activate their effects. There are certain rogue decks in the format, like True Draco, which have a really tough time of dealing with a card like Baguska unless they have access to their trap cards.
Yeah, when you have such an effect and the meta is so wide, it is obviously going to be really good. Just like Abyss Dweller is just good against any deck that relies on the graveyard. And we've seen a bunch. Like Orcus is doing really well. We saw Tom Rose winning in the last round. He's still in the event in top 16. And Abyss Dweller is really good against the deck.
Yes, exactly.
We just got the confirmation that he is playing...
No, he's not playing Tornado Dragon.
Okay.
Again, neither of us speaks very good German, so...
Sure.
It was, in fact, Borel that was on the list. Yeah, we see that Khan is looking at Pankratops, which is a great card here.
Indeed.
So, like, overall, what is your general thoughts on the meta here? Do you think that going on Salamangreat was the right choice for the event, or with the information we have now,
Yeah.
what deck would you be entering with?
I
Hop
mean,
in your time machine.
as I said, it really depends on what I was going to do for the event. Because if I was going for war points, then it would have been Salamangreat. But if I wanted to win the event, I would go for Arcus, I'd say.
Sure.
I really was convinced by the deck. He can play very well going second and first. So I am a fan of that deck. It's definitely a wide format, though. You can not expect this many people, and when it happens, it's never a pleasure thing. You want to be able to predict what's going on at the event.
So, would you prefer a YCS at the start of a format, or do you prefer YCSs when we're coming to the close?
Definitely at the start. It's not even close. Because after a while, everyone knows about what's good in the format and even about the touches, and it gets quite difficult to get an edge over your opponents. While at the beginning of the format, there is a lot more confusion. You don't exactly know what the standard build will look like.
Yes.
So especially if you play a standard deck, which is the case for this event. Salamangreat was very new, and at the same time it's a consistent deck, and that's why we saw so many people being successful with it.
Yeah, exactly.
Because there is a lot of confusion about combo decks. We literally have not seen the same combo deck for the weekend.
Yeah.
And if that's the case, then you want to be playing something that does the same thing every round, very consistent, and that is Salamangreat or Sky Striker.
Yeah, I think the Orcus engine is interesting in the fact that, you know, it is very close to being as consistent as something like Salamangreat. I think it is almost more consistent than Striker. That or I'm very bad at opening hands with Striker, which could be the case.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a very interesting call. And you don't think there's anything else that you would consider, like maybe Guru Control or...
Yeah, there are a few rogue options. We've seen people play through Draco as well, because it seems to have a really good matchup against Salamangreat.
Yeah.
We have not seen it in action personally, but I've heard a lot of people play against it this weekend. It seems to be quite a popular trend in Europe in general. And
I mean, the deck's easy to access. It has some really nice interactions with other cards, and the trap cards in True Draco are insanely powerful.
sure,
As you know yourself.
I do know. I do know. I don't miss it very much, though, to be fair. Masterpiece was very annoying.
Masterpiece is a very frustrating card to play against. I do think Apocalypse is one of the most interesting cards that we've had in a format for a very long time. It has so many different applications.
Indeed.
And it really tests.
It seems like they're finally ready, and let's see the opening ends.
So, I'm assuming that Klaus is going to be going first here.
But I see a lot of cards for going second, so his hand is literally just like cards for going second.
That does look like a going second hand.
So I hope for him that he picks second, but I wouldn't really expect that to be the case.
Called by the Grave is pretty scary here. Pot of Extravagance is also an insanely good pickup.
Oh my.
Oh,
He's actually
no.
going first, and this is a terrible, and it lineups very badly against Khan An, because as you said, he's gonna be able to call by the Grave the Ash like he did in game 1.
Yeah. This is not looking good. So we definitely asked the Extravagance, because it does just say draw 2 cards. I don't really see an argument for doing otherwise. Because you can hold it for something like Guru, but realistically, whatever Guru is going to search could be drawn off this Extravagance anyway.
Indeed.
And it's not like Guru is searching key combo pieces, it's just searching card advantage.
And Call by the Grave comes down, he will be able to draw 2 fresh new cards, and with the Terraforming and Fiend is already in hand, it's looking like it could be a very good scenario here, because even if he Twin Twisters there, it's such a bad feeling. It would be even one more -1, and he's already on a -2. So
yeah, for sure. I think holding the Twisters so that you can clear the floodgates during your turn, because The Subterror deck is not threatening game this turn. Or at least I hope it's not.
Yeah, it shouldn't be. And the fact that he actually drew into the Behemoth means that he will be able to actually go for it as well if he wants.
Yeah.
So let's see.
Well, if he uses Fiendess effect, he'll be able to summon Umastrix during his opponent's turn, and then he can flip it up with Final Battle, which is really nice interaction. Banishing a card to your opponent controls is generally quite powerful, and being able to do it during their turn effectively as a quick effect is...
Now he has 3 Entrops online. He has Ghost Ogre, Ash, and Fiendus.
Ash Blossom is currently being prevented by his own Called by the Grave. So he has Ogre and Fiendus.
Yes.
Yeah.
Even though he can legally activate it, it will be
He can
Yeah.
activate his Ash.
Which is something that you do see sometimes because people tend to forget about the other aspect of Call by the Grave.
It's just
So-
how long Called by lasts, right?
Yeah.
It's the fact that it lasts a full cycle of both players' turns.
Now the mind control comes down and suddenly Klaus might get away with this. It's definitely a weird spot. And he drew into another Ash Blossom. So final battle is chained. Probably... What is he going to do with final battle?
Final Battle, presumably, he can just flip his guy face down, or
And-
else he can just make
No,
it so
he-
he can't be negated.
I think he's going to chain the effect where he can chain Guru afterwards.
Oh, yes, that is true.
So he puts Pankerup's face down, which, yeah, is going to get chained, then he gets the Fiendus, so
then
it does give it back to him. But he can't really do much with it. He's going to be forced to normal summon Ash Blossom and go for a Link Chew. But
Yeah.
this is actually working out not that badly for Klaus.
Yeah, it is definitely looking a lot better than it had been at the start of the turn.
Yeah, this turn was definitely interesting.
So this is Hita, the Fire Charmer?
Yeah,
No, that's the
Blaze.
original version.
Blaze.
Yeah, there we go. This card's really cool. It's a level up of a card that was first released in the Lost Millennium. So we have another really nice storyline card here.
Yeah.
One of my favorite artists in the TCG as well.
It's basically for the mirror match, and it's such a good card there.
Yeah. And it has like decent attack points for a Link too.
It's one of the best cards in the mirror, and it's also able to search a Fire Master when destroyed, which we will see now. And it's definitely a nice tool for the deck. So we see even more Dino Wrestlers come down, but now there is an issue because Khan basically is out of Subterror Guru,
Yes.
and it's gonna be a little bit of a struggle to keep up, even though we know he has multiple Entrops. So this Dino Wrestler though is win condition.
For sure. So, considering how many Dino Wrestlers we've seen at this event, can we just call it Pankratops format? Is that acceptable?
It could be.
What do people in the crowd think? Pankratops format? I don't think they're sold on it. But it is such an impactful side deck card here. It does suffer from the fact that it doesn't get their engines online.
Indeed.
So we're seeing a lot of both players trying to fight for the ability to start playing their game plan, because
Yeah,
neither of them have established that.
Ghost Ogre is used on Lady Debug.
Yep.
Now Klaus is left with the option to Spinny his opponent master and go for Gazelle, but then he makes himself weak to the Pankratops itself.
Yes. Twin Twisters?
Definitely a
targeting
much
these
better
effects.
option. So
I like this here. Get rid of Final Battle and there can be only one.
So now Gazelle, it's the field. He can get negated by Ash Blossom depending on what he wants to do. And yeah, this is definitely coming down to the wire. I mean, if he does, it prevents him from sending stuff like Jaguar. He doesn't really have anything too good to send otherwise, but
Yeah. But even he can send Foxy here, right? Because he'll be able to summon and destroy the field spell.
indeed. but he doesn't have any cards in the hand right now. So it's going to be quite a
right.
grind game. Here you need to use the Dino Wrestler, let's say, to just destroy the Gazelle to prevent Spinny even from coming back. And then you're going to go on a top deck war, essentially.
Yeah.
With only Umastrix in your hand, but you also have an Ash Blossom, which is a pretty good deal.
I mean, that's perhaps an argument for the Salamangreat player to send a Foxy, because Foxy doesn't require a Salamangreat on field.
Exactly.
It just requires to face up Spell or Trap. So it means that Claus, at least, is able to try and progress his board.
Next turn.
Yeah.
Oh, Duality is a great pickup. Let's see. Wow. Wow. Very
He's
bad
taking
reveals
Duality.
now. He's going to pick another Duality for next turn.
Yeah. We'll try again next time.
And now Claus has so many draws that are good, even though the Ash Blossom is in hand. He can get there.
Yeah,
So-
he definitely is favored. He has card advantage here, even though he's not on the board. Do you think there was an argument for taking Called by the Grave there as opposed to Duality?
I'd say so, but it feels like Ash Blossom is enough protection. And Claus does not pick up anything, and now the second Duality is going to come in clutch. And wow, Hidden City is picked up.
Hidden City is pretty good, but
Yeah.
Twin Twisters can be used to prevent it.
Sure.
He grabs Extravagance. We're not doing much this turn by the looks of it.
Definitely. Not going to be used now.
I think you have to Twisters the Hidden City here if you can, because otherwise, yeah.
You
He's
have
saying
to.
we're not even going to think about that.
Wow, what a
Just-
game. It's one of the best parts of Yu-Gi-Oh! Is when this simplified game state happen, and it's just so much fun to have these top deck wars. But now part of Extravagance is there. Claus again doesn't draw anything.
He has an Ash Blossom though.
Yeah. Does he?
Yeah.
Uh,
Or
wow.
the
Oh
app is
yeah, he
showing-
did pick up Ash Blossom for a pot. This is incredible.
And this is the thing, they're just trading resources,
Yeah.
and it's just going to be a case of who still has resources left by the end of the game. Like, Khan doesn't really care about his
Wow.
extra deck. Here comes the Ash Blossom.
Even more, and now again he's gonna be forced to pass.
Just sit here staring at each other,
And
basically.
Claus just praying to get a monster.
So there's 2 Hidden Cities already in Khan's graveyard, and Hidden City is such a powerful card. That's a good top
But
deck.
Ash Blossom
That's-
is there, so
Oh, no.
still negated.
Oh no! Draw, go.
Draw and pass, draw and
go.
pass, draw and pass.
This is Yu-Gi-Oh!
This is Yu-Gi-Oh! What a game. Now Super Poly is picked up. Claus is now, though, in a much better spot.
For sure.
Because there is no more Ash Blossom.
Ooh, setting the Super Poly means that the Twin Twisters can potentially be alive here.
Wow, what is going on?
This is crazy.
This
because
is going full speed.
They have so many monsters that they can draw, and all of their engines are built around like one monster. One monster gets them into their shenanigans. Like
but-
Afindas or a Guru gets
Sure.
the Subterrors online,
So Super Poly is still the set card, which is a huge deal. Because
but he only has 3 cards left in his extra deck, right?
Oh yeah, you're right.
Is
There is
Super
a big
Poly
chance
alive?
that Super Poly is completely dead right now. He picks up the Spinny, so he will be able to go into a few plays. Let's see if Super Poly is still alive. We'll get to see.
We'll find out very shortly by
Yeah.
the looks of it.
What a game.
I love these simplified game states where you're forced to try and gain as much value as you can from the single cards that you have access to. We're attacking for 500 damage, I think?
Yes.
Yes. Powerful
Was it-
500 link
was it-
one.
Okay, no, because he got caught by the grave, sure. So let's see what he draws. He has the Dino Wrestler. But now he's also like out of 2 fuel spells, so the cards that he can pick up are definitely worse.
Yeah.
He's gonna push some damage here.
Yep.
But if nothing happens here, then Claus is in a much better spot because he's able to just go for his combos.
I think you Pankratops the value links, but
Yeah.
I'm not sure.
Oh,
Lady
but Lady
Debug
Debug
is a really
picked
good
up.
draw. Do we have the Super Poly and is it live? We do have the Super Poly. Can we play the Super
Is
Poly?
Khan out of extra deck? Because
No, he has. I believe he has 3 cards left.
then why didn't he go for Extravagance for 1?
Did he draw it later in his turn? Or maybe the Super Poly is live and he realizes that he wants to hold the extra
I
deck
mean,
slots.
you might as well just draw 1 and see what you will draw.
Surely the
Ah,
Super
you mean with the
Poly.
Super Poly? Yeah, you're right.
yeah.
Then it's a possibility, but that would be extremely lucky.
Or maybe he's just bluffing us. Could be possible.
I don't think so, because he's only playing 2 copies of Chimera, so the chance that he got rid of that, it's quite high.
Yeah, exactly. Statistically, it is very likely that he's gotten rid of it. That said, it would be a pretty magical moment if we see a Super Poly flipped here on a Sunlight Wolf.
It would definitely be in line with the rest of the match, so...
Yeah, exactly. My friends have this idea of plot armor, where sometimes you're playing a match, and no matter how hard you try to make the wrong plays, it just kind of goes in your favor. And maybe that's what Extravagance is doing here. It's just setting him up for the perfect Super Poly.
Possible.
Adding back Ash Blossom is quite nice. It's reading Sunlight Wolf.
One of the best interactions of this deck.
Yeah, so we're going to send the counter trap card. So I think it really comes down
He
here.
does
It's a
have the
Super
Super Poly target, wow. With 12 cards banished from the extra deck, he still has the target.
He's
That's
just
incredible.
That good. Like, that is incredible.
Wow. The handshake. There
That
goes
is
the
GG.
match. Tari takes it 2-0 and he moves on to the top 8. What a match. What a match. That's incredible. So let's go to the post-match discussion.
Super polymerization for game.
What happened? Yeah.
That was insane. I
wow.
mean,
What a game. I mean, game 1 was chill. It was very fast. It lasted only a couple minutes, but then game 2, it exploded. It was like a back and forth game at the beginning. Then we had a lot of top deck wars. And it actually insane that he managed to banish 12 cards of the extra deck and still keep one of the only 2 Violet Chimera.
It's
wow.
such an amazing way to win a game. And we saw such a good grind game going there where both players were slowly trying to get themselves back into the game. We saw Dino Wrestlers throwing themselves at everything on the board. Yeah, that was what I love about this format. You see such fantastic games where the board state simplifies, and then they have to battle it out. And clearly these guys have put a lot of work in because they handled it perfectly. And, you know, you can't play around the Super Poly when your opponent has 3 cards left in their
Especially
extra
with 3
deck.
cards back in the extra deck, that's actually insane. And yeah, you can't blame him. You have to say congrats to Claus for getting this far.
Exactly.
It was still like one of his first tops. So Tari is moving on. Subterror is still in the tournament, surprisingly. There were only a few walking into the event. So let's just go to Oliver for the interview and let's watch later.
Yeah.
Here we are on the main event stage, the grandest stage of them all, at the largest European tournament of them all. We got Tari from Germany. Well done to you. That was quite the match.
Thank you, thank you. I think it's the first feature match I ever won. So,
so you beat the curse.
Yeah.
And you didn't just beat the curse, you also beat it with style.
Yeah, I think so. Like, Super Poly is a good card.
So walk us through it one more time. It was a 2-0 victory, so that's pretty much as clean as it gets. What was the first game like in your head?
Yeah, the first game I saw my hand and it was sure that I win because it's the best matchup for my deck when I go first, because I can book the normal summon Salamangreat monster and also have I had 2 strikes, so it was really good, yeah.
All right, so that went just the way you wanted to. Did you know what he was playing after that first game?
I know what he was playing, yeah, because we sit a lot next to other.
Right, okay, that makes sense. So what did you side deck after that first game?
I sided in 3 Pranker Torps because I thought he'd go first, and the first time I played against Salamangreat, I sided 3 evenly, because the thing is, when they have counter trap, on Guru it's pretty good, so you just want to bait the counter trap, and after that you can pretty play, so I decided to side these 6 cards.
So you said that you didn't prepare that much for this tournament, but still it seems like you know all the correct ways to side deck and how to adapt your strategy depending on your opponent. Is that just raw talent or what's your secret?
My secret is just to test the deck, what you think is the best. Like, when you test a lot of decks, you just don't focus on one deck. So I tested only this deck. I played at locals like for 2 weeks, and I tested online on Dueling Book, so I tested really hard and it was really good.
All right, so then the second game, I mean, you're going into it, you're prepared, and you're kind of crushing it again thanks to, like you said, super polymerization. So is there something about your deck that you would change right now because you've been playing for so many rounds?
I only cite 6 cards in my side deck the whole event. I only cite these 6 cards I told you because I played a lot of Salomon Mirrors and all the other decks. Like when I play against Fondo, I just went first, so I think it's perfect. Just maybe a bit out on the side. I would play Inspector board instead of Lockbirds. So yeah.
All right, so now you are in the top 8. Has one of the advantages, you're going to have your profile taken. Yeah. So everybody that is reading, my God, the written coverage is going to check that out. How are you feeling about your chances of taking down this entire event?
I think there is a chance because I saw a lot of Solomon great players, and it's a pretty good matchup because I have cards like There Can Only Be One and the book. It's pretty good, so maybe it can be possible. The dream.
But again, are you taking it one step at a time, or are you already dreaming of crushing this whole thing?
For me, it's pretty hard to play comfortable with yourself, like just not dreaming, just focus on your game right now, and then when you win, it's okay, but when you lose, I think when you lose in top 8, it's also okay. Like, but I'm really happy about to be like that far, and so yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, we had a couple of guys that said they're rooting for you when we brought you in, so it seems like you got your fans in the venue, and they're going to be rooting for you in the top 8 as well. So congratulations again.
Thank you.
Guys, we're going to take a little break and then we're going to mix things up. We're not going to do the next feature match in YCS Düsseldorf number 1. We're instead going to shift gears and do the finals of YCS Düsseldorf number 2. The semi-final, one of them is still underway. I do know for a fact that we have a Swiss player in the finals of Düsseldorf 2. His opponent is either a German or an Italian player, if I'm not mistaken. They are still playing, but they could be done any moment. So there's a very good chance that very soon we're going to be starting our finals of YCS Düsseldorf 2. After that, we of course continue with our coverage of YCS Düsseldorf 1. So all of this, a bit confusing, but no worries guys, we're going to run you through it one more time when the match is underway. So with that, we're going to take a short break and then we're going to be back with the finals of our smaller YCS this weekend in Düsseldorf.